This is Janice Perkins with Capacity, and I am joined today by Naama Marcos from Visual Fusion. And I have no idea what this platform is really going to look like, but I wanted to create a quick conversation that I'm calling On the Bright Side, because in today's world, we need something more to laugh at and enjoy than the chaos around us and the uncertainty. So I don't know if this is going to work or not, but Naama is a longtime friend. Let's see, there are many adjectives I can use to describe you. I'm going to stay PG with all of them.
Yay.
Employee, friend, partner in crime, that might be the most dangerous we've ever been. And vendor, client, all of those things for decades and decades. She's an incredibly successful businesswoman. Visual Fusion is an advertising agency, and I'll let you tell later a little bit more about Visual Fusion, but we have definitely shared in our manner of belly laughs, and so you're a great first person to launch this with me. So I was looking for things to do on the bright side. So I'm going to share my screen here to kick off our conversation if I can find it. So I love Jimmy Fallon. He makes me laugh all the time. So he does those things on Twitter, hashtags. So his is, say, the hashtag is my quarantine in 6 words. So this one is day 1, ate all the snacks. The next one is longest day of my life every day, which is kind of what you were talking about a minute ago.
Yeah.
Expelled my kid from homeschool. We can all relate to if you're a parent. Flattening the curve, fattening my curves. Funyuns for dinner, okay, breakfast too. Is 7 Hot Pockets too many? There's not enough wine for this. Very close to befriending a volleyball, which I thought was really funny. So I thought about my quarantine in 6 words. There's a lot of them, but my favorite one would be every day is pajama day, pajama pants day. That would be my 6 words. Do you have my quarantine? Yeah. Do you have my quarantine in 6 words?
I don't know if it's please send more wine.
Oh, we only need 4. Okay, that's okay.
A lot more wine.
We could do right now at the end of that.
Please, pretty please.
Hey, you know what? Maybe Uber will create another, not Uber Eats, it will be Uber Drinks. And so maybe
we could just
maybe.
Oh my gosh.
There will be entrepreneurial business wisdom that will erupt out of this time period.
Well, I mean, I think Spangles is on to something with their drive-through screwdrivers. So maybe we should.
Ooh. We used to always talk about the margarita machine. That's for sure.
I know, right?
That's for sure. Well, I'm hoping that anybody who sees this will later in the comments post their 6-word hashtag in quarantine to join us in our conversation. So just on the bright side, versus talking about the negativity or the chaos going on, there are 3 specific things I want you to just tell me just a short answer to. And as a successful business owner, what's one thing that you would tell other businesses right now that you have done or that they should do? Like, what's something you would recommend?
I think take one day at a time. I think when we, or at least for me, when I try to think about the long term of this, it gets a little overwhelming. So I just try to take one day at a time, and I focus on my team. I think they're number one. That's the most important thing to me. Making sure the team is healthy and sane and not, stressing out. I think we're all stressing out enough, trying to get used to the new normal and making sure that we're safe and we have enough supplies and that we're following all the rules and making sure that our family is healthy and safe. So, just one day at a time. Just one thing at a time. It's just too much, otherwise. And then once we settled in, instead of juggling a whole bunch of projects, each designer just focuses on one thing at a time. That way, we don't have to transfer files back and forth from the office. Just keeping it simple. And resetting expectations, because there's no way to pull an 8-hour day or 9-hour day, or whatever is the normal today, because we're working from home. We're trying to make sure that we have to keep up with the news, we have to keep up with our families, adjusting to the new normal. It's all a little bit of limbo right now, so just one day at a time.
That's really wise advice. I want you to repeat what you did when we first got on the call, when you said it's a juxtaposition between two things. I want you to describe that, because that was really profound for how we all feel on this spectrum.
So I think we all feel both completely relaxed because we're all home. So a lot of the daily tasks of getting ready to go to work, driving to work, all those things are off our list. Obviously, our social calendars are completely wiped off, so there's a lot more time. So in some respect, it feels really relaxing. But there's also a lot of anxiety and the unknown, and who knows what's going to happen financially for everyone in the business world, all the working people, the medical field. So there's both a sense of relief and ease, but also a sense of angst and uncertainty, and it's at the same time, and it feels like
it is. It was the most beautiful explanation I had heard, that there's this tension in freedom and a tension in relaxation that we have never experienced before. Usually if you go on vacation, and sometimes we, as business owners, we have dangling responsibilities even when we go on vacation that kind of continue, but they're responsibilities or a burden, but they're not tension all the time. And so there's this kind of white knuckled but relaxed atmosphere that is a really unique position to be standing in. So I really like the way you described it. So then the second question is, what could I do for me? What's something that you've done for you as a person, or what does self-care look like in the middle of this for you as a person?
I'm giving myself freedom to not be 100% productive. There's just no way. I feel obviously there's so much uncertainty right now. None of us know how to behave at this moment. Like you and I, all of us, we have our daily schedule, we have our routine. Even if we go on vacation, it's a set amount of time, and you know how you're supposed to behave. But right now, it's just a new reality. I think we're all adjusting to something completely new. We're trying to juggle all the freedom and all the uncertainty and all the I think there's also like a mourning period. I think we're a little bit mourning for a reality that there's a huge loss.
Right. And what will the new normal look
and
like? What do we get back?
Right. There's not a deadline. There's not, you go on vacation, you're like, all right, I got a week, I got 3 days, I got 2 weeks if you're lucky. But now this could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3, who knows, right? So all that uncertainty, I think it's just unwise to have the same expectations as a normal day.
Expectations. I was just talking to the kids about, post 9/11 is the only other apocalyptic event that I could even compare this to in our lifetime, and how different air travel was pre 9/11 and post 9/11. And we take for granted now the taking off our shoes and the belts and all the different TSA requirements that didn't exist before. And so what measure of this new normal will remain with us, as we move forward? So it's a very interesting idea. I like the removing expectations. Okay, then the third question is from a relationship standpoint. And, I'll try not to get on a soapbox, but I feel like we already had technologically lost contact quite a bit in our current, society and culture. And so as far as relationships are concerned, is there any one thing you would recommend for us to remain connected with people, including our inner family?
I think that, it's really easy to dive into work or into our phones or into Netflix or whatever, and kind of use that as an escape right now, because reality is kind of painful and hard. And yes, we are limited in the ways we can connect with one another, but I think it's also an opportunity to really dive in deep into personal relationships with the people that we are close to. And we've been FaceTiming with the family. So I have 4 sisters and a ton of nephews and nieces. So I put everybody on a group and we FaceTime everyone at 6 p.m. in the evening, and we show the art projects we worked on during the day. And it's chaotic, it's loud, everybody talks over each other, but it's amazing, because we get to see each other, we get to connect, making sure that the kids, I think for the kids, it's really important to keep the social thing going. So, trying to do that. We have a virtual double date with friends this Friday.
Well, that's fun.
We're gonna Skype and hang. So little things like that, just do whatever you can to keep the relationships alive, and not, it's really easy to kind of get into your own little world and stay there. It's, so make the effort to connect. And
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Kind of what we're doing right now.
That is, we're seeing each other. So, so leave me with one more thought. If you could pick something that's like a silver lining, or that is the bright side of the current circumstances, that's uplifting, what's one thing that you feel is like a bonus or a benefit, that's kind of an upside for you?
I've heard this from a lot of people. So I feel like prior to this, our world was just really hectic. It seemed like there was just a lot going on our personal life, in our work life, on the national stage, international stage. It feels like everything was just intense and a little bit overwhelming. And all of a sudden, it just crashed. We went from 200 miles per hour to literally 0. And although it is overwhelming, and although it is stressful, and the uncertainty of what's going to happen financially and in the business world is a reality that we have to face, I think it's kind of nice to have a break. I think it's kind of nice to have lowered expectations and less of a demanding schedule. I think we all needed that a little bit, right? So yeah, so the simplification was thrusted upon us. Might as well utilize it and take the time to reset. I'm taking the time to just kind of, like I said before, do one thing at a time, lower my expectations of myself and of everyone around me. I tend to be a perfectionist, similar to you, I think. So just a tad, so just having to work on that is plenty to do.
It is plenty to do. And I do feel that resetting is the most important thing you said. It's definitely been hard. And for each of us, it takes a different period of time. We have to give ourselves the grace to mourn. I loved how you said that. We need to mourn and reset, and then also just take advantage of what we can. The good things that do survive. I'm so thankful, I said yesterday, that this happened in the spring, so we can get outside and we can walk and we can see the sunshine. There is beauty still around us that we can ascribe to, that make us, make our whole person feel more whole, right? In the absence of other things that we're letting go. So I love that.
Yeah. Who's having the best time of their lives? Our pets.
Yeah, absolutely. They're getting walked all over the place.
Oh,
right?
My goodness. I think my dog is having the best time of his life.
I love that. It's a new Life of Pets movie. Isn't there a sequel?
I know, right?
Yeah. The Life of Pets through the quarantine. They're just
That's right.
Yeah.
My cat is like, when are you leaving though?
Oh, I love that. That's a good bright side. That's a great note to leave on. So thanks for joining me with Naama Marcos. Hey, go ahead and plug Visual Fusion and give me a list of 3 or 4 things you specialize in that you're fantastic at.
All right. So Visual Fusion is a local graphic design and marketing firm. We love to work with local firms, and we do everything from print to web to social media marketing. We just love Wichita. We love the community, and we really enjoy supporting businesses around us.
Yes, she's fantastic at what she do. I will plug her. She's brilliant, very insightful, and has a great, strong team. So thanks for joining us on the first episode of The Bright Side. Here we go.
Thank you, Janice.